Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. We are officially in fall, and fall in Arizona is such a beautiful time. So here we are, September 24th. If fall started yesterday. But anyways, so we are finally through our horrible hot summer. And we still have 100-degree weather, but we're done with the 110s. As you can see, I got my Superman shirt on. So for those of you listening on the podcast, hope you're doing great. I'm Jason Grandon with the GRANDON GROUP, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. For those of you watching this podcast on lockbox.com, Arizona Real Estate Showcase, and YouTube, you can see I'm in my Superman shirt today, just kind of getting ready for some fall cleaning and stuff. But I wanted to, as I promised, make sure we get our weekly podcast out. So here we are, the GRANDON GROUP, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, right here in beautiful Arizona. So, and as many of you know, and some don't know, we do handle the entire state. So my sister actually is based out of Prescott. She handles Prescott, Flagstaff, Sedona, Williams, the whole northern part of the valley, where I handle quite a bit of the stuff below, south of Black Canyon City or Anthem. So we've got you covered, especially with 20 plus years experience, combined 70 years with everything that we've been involved with. Plus, we are Arizona's #1 brother and sister team. Okay, hey, so today I wanted to kind of jump into this podcast here and talk about a couple things. We've got a couple questions on this week, and unless you're under a rock, you know that from July of this past year and before, the market was incredibly hot. And when I say hot, I describe it as, hey, you put a house on the market for X amount of dollars and it sells for some ridiculous price over that and you don't have to do anything. That means, this is going to give me some more emails, this means the realtors come out of the woodworks, the ones that just got their license, the one that was working at Burger King, decided he wanted to make a lot of money, goes, gets his license, and then tries to get listings, screw up the market, and sell homes. Fine, whatever. So now here we are, fast forward to September, starting in July, this market had started shifting. Now, any of us professional realtors, and there's a lot of great ones out here, could see that, hey, economy's changing, things are going on at the federal level, or just making things change. It's getting a little tighter. Plus, interest rates climbing up makes it a little harder for a lot of people. And then also, somebody who's buying $1 million house at 3% interest is not buying a $1 million house at 7%. So you got to take those things into consideration. So professional realtors should see this coming, and many of them did. So, yes, Arizona is still a very hot market. Is it so hot that Mr. Seller's going to sell his house and get $500,000 over? No, not going to happen, and nor should it. We're not crashing. Prices are adjusting to where they should have been. So, as I mentioned in this podcast here, any professional realtor sees a shift in the market, which is still very hot. And this happened like nearly overnight, quite honestly. And the federal policies are going to make people hold on to their money. They're not going to pay these ridiculous asking prices. And our cash buyers and investors are like, wait a second, let me see what's going on here. We're going to do it. So I kind of made the analogy on the summary on the report you can see here. If you bought a home in 2021 for, let's say, $400,000, and you sold it before June of 22 for $650,000, first of all, good for you. That is great. It was the market. It probably wasn't your brother's best friend's sister who just got a real estate license and she's the greatest person in the world. That's not the case. Now, if you bought a home last year in 2021 for $400,000 and you had to sell it in August of 2022 and you sold it for $450,000, that is a good investment. All right? I know some of you are looking like, well, I could have sold it a year earlier for $100,000 more. Yeah, and none of us have crystal balls on that. But the fact of the matter is that you still made a profit on the house. So my point is that when and this kind of relates to the sellers, when you guys are listing your house, when you bring on a realtor and you interview a realtor, which I believe you should, and you should also discuss this with the GRANDON GROUP, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, when you're interviewing realtors, get the real value of your house. Don't listen to the media and all the nonsense going out there. If you have a great house and you paid $250,000 for it 20 years ago, and you need to sell it for whatever reason, and today we can get you, honestly, $450,000. That's a great investment. It used to be in the old days, and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Everything's changed so much, but I remember when I was younger, and this was actually predates me from when I was younger, but they used to put out the Norman Rockwell pictures around the holidays and even during the year, and it'd have the family sitting around, and things were just kind of, it wasn't slow pace, it was just normal. People bought a home, they're like, this is going to be our family home, and for whatever reason, the media, realtors, the market, all this stuff has made it seem like you buy a home, you have to be able to buy this home, turn it around in 2 or 3 years and make $300,000-$400,000. That's not the case. A home is a great place to hang your money if you're looking for a decent investment. But you can't go into it plan on buying a house today for $200,000, selling it tomorrow for $700,000. That just doesn't work. Fact of the matter is, you're still gaining quite a bit of equity on your house when you buy it, if you buy it right. So let's shift here. Buyers. Buying a home, and this statement, a lot of the realtors will agree with this, but there's going to be some that are going to argue this. When you buy a home, if you have a good realtor and a good agency and you buy right, you are saving thousands of dollars. Any good lender will tell you this. When you buy a home right now, even in this market at the 6.5-7% interest rate, we can save you thousands and thousands of dollars. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say you come into the market and you're like, I don't want to buy a house because the market's crazy. Okay, the market's not crazy. Interest rates are still historically low, first of all, but it's still a good time to buy. You're either going to buy for yourself and own and create your own equity, or you're going to buy for the landlord and create them a lot of equity and pay their bills for them. Which one would you rather have? You can still get into a house with little down. Yes, you might pay a little more than you were used to for the past few years with the lower interest rates. But hey, that's the market, and things are going to change again. So buy the house now so you get a 6.5-7% rate. Refinance it when rates go down, which they will be going down at some point. Any lender will tell you that as well. So you buy a house. So you can't buy the $1 million house now because your payment went from being able to purchase it at 3%, let's say $3,000 a month, to now $6,500 or $7,000. Okay, that's understandable. So you know what? Buy your $500,000 house. Your payments, $3,000 a month or wherever you're comfortable with. And in a few years, sell it. You don't have to make $1 million on these things. But also, many of us, and I'm not talking to the investors on this, many of us have to get back to the point where we are making our house a home. We buy a home, you get married, and you have kind of a small house. All right? Everybody doesn't need to have some big extravagant mansion. Have a nice house. Have your Halloween parties, your Christmas parties, your birthdays, and grow in that house and build your family in that house for as long as you can. Hey, I'm not saying don't sell it. I'm just saying let's change our mindset on, hey, I need to sell my house and make millions of dollars. That's not what it's about, and it shouldn't be. Because I don't know at what point in life we lost the fact that a house is supposed to be a home. And this is not to the investors. This is just to the everyday person who's just kind of hanging out. You buy a house to turn it into a home, and you make it a home for as long as you can. Then you sell it, and you move up or you move down, whatever you want to do. But make it a home. It is an investment, but it doesn't need to be this deal where you're going to make $1 million on it. For those of you that have sold your houses and made a ton of money, we've done it here. Great. You know what? Fantastic. We hit it at the right time. But overall, if you buy a house, just enjoy it. Love it. Build it up. Add a pool. Put some great landscaping in. Get an animal. Get a dog or something. But just enjoy it. Make it a home. That's the value in your house. So, price adjustments. A good realtor, any professional realtor, will list your house according to recent, and you might even have to go back comps. And I'm saying recent, I'm talking like a month, maybe 2 months back. Personally, I think you'd be better off pricing a little lower and then have people bid on it. Or you can always go down, you can't go up. So price it a little bit higher. But there's a lot of homes on the market right now, and it just kind of depends on if you are looking to sell your house quick, or you're looking to, put a time frame on it. If you're selling your house today and you need to be out of it in the next 30 days, a good realtor is going to price it accordingly to get rid of it. We went from, 1,500, 1,800 homes on the market to there's over 20,000 on the market right now. Part of the problem, too, for those of you that may or may not know on this, how the prices work, investors did this, a little bit of it. So the investors bought these homes, they held them, and, Zillows and Open Door, they're guilty of this. They buy these houses, they didn't sell them, they flood the market. All right, so Arizona's a great market. We sell a ton of people a day moving here, and it's a good time to buy. It's a great time to sell, and things go in a full circle. So you'll be seeing great interest rates again. But listen, if you can purchase a home, get with a lender, buy a home. Do not buy a home for your landlord. Every time you make that rent payment, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is, every time you make that rent payment, you're helping somebody else out and not helping yourself. Now, I say this, we own instantrenters.com too, so we want to help you out find a rental if that's where you need to be. But let's get you on a plan. We've got some great lenders that will put you on a roadmap to purchasing a home. And regardless of the market, you need to purchase a home. Okay, so finally, the other thing we wanted to talk about, again, we don't get into politics on this podcast. We try to stay away from it because we know we've got different views on everything. But I do want to pose a question, and I know I'll get emails on this one. So as a realtor, we all have to belong to a board. So I belong to the Scottsdale Association of Realtors. Some people on our team belong to West Valley, Prescott, whatever the case is. Every place has a different board. Every year they have elections where people can come on and be a board member. And so generally the busy realtors, you don't really see them on the boards too much because they're busy. You do see a handful, not all, because there are some good people on this, but you see a handful of people that are political activists or maybe sold one home in their 10-year career, and they're the ones getting on these boards and these committees making decisions and making it rough for the regular realtors. And it makes it rough for you because they put these policies out which kind of tie our hands on certain things. So my question to you is, should activists be on the board? And should there be a better vetting scenario than the one they have now? Right now you have, like a committee that selects some of these people, and half of them are crazy. But anyways, so that's a big thing here. We have to kind of watch what's going on with the board, and you should discuss this with your agents. Say, hey, what's going on with your local board? I noticed that, they're pushing for this or that, and these people on the board. So the realtors need to be engaged with this, and we need to be able to openly and honestly and friendly have a discussion with people that are running for these committees just to kind of see what their viewpoints are. Do you want massive growth in certain areas? Do you think low-income housing should be allowed in multi-million-dollar areas? Blah, blah, blah. The whole 9 yards. These are things we have to discuss. And I can tell you right now, specifically in the Scottsdale one, we've got some board members that are total activists that, if elected, they would for sure screw stuff up. So, anyways, don't want to be negative on this Saturday. Football season's going. Many of you are out there watching that. I wanted to make sure I got this particular podcast and video out for you. Listen, GRANDON Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. We are here to serve you. All right? Being a realtor means you call us, we interview. If you like us, we get hired. And it should be the same. So we want to make sure that you're getting everything that you need. The real estate market is great out here, folks. Do not let people tell you differently. Yeah, prices are adjusting. They might not be as crazy as they were. But you know what? It is a great market. There's a lot of people moving here. If you're an investor and you're looking to buy some investment property, rents are still crazy. So, anyways, give us a call. We're glad to talk to you and fill you in on everything. If you need horse properties, as you know, and some of you don't know, my sister and I are equine experts. Plus, we've got golf course properties. We even have properties with airports. The other thing that's going great out here for you commercial guys, warehouse space. There is nothing available. So if you're an investor or you're thinking, I need to put my money somewhere, you might want to consider putting it in some commercial. I'm not talking about buying necessarily a strip mall, but these warehouse spaces, I cannot find them for North Scottsdale and Phoenix. It is crazy. And they're renting for $1.85 a foot in an area where you'd be like, what? That's just not possible. It's crazy. So, hope you guys have a fantastic, great weekend. Enjoy it. First weekend of fall. We will be back later this week with some more topics, kind of just fill you in on our take of the real estate market. Hope this helps out. Again, thank you to all the listeners on the podcast. You guys have been making it a great success. Lockbox is going to be starting again, lockbox.tv. We'll be starting up again pretty soon. We're going to be interviewing some great people, and we'll have clips here on our podcast. Okay, you guys have a great Saturday. Enjoy football. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. I'm Jason Grandon with the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. We'll see you guys soon.